In number 1, we have to take away 7/9 and 2/5. So first, we need to look for the lowest common multiple of 9 and 5. An easy way to look for the lowest common multiple of two numbers is to look at the multiples of the bigger number. So we're going to look at the multiples of 9. We've got 9, 18, 27, 36, and 45. Now we're going to stop at 45 because that's a number that also appears in the 5 times table. So we're going to make both of these fractions equivalent such that the denominators are over 45. So to make 9 into 45, we've multiplied it by 5. So we're going to do the same to 7, which is the numerator. 7 times 5 is 35. To make 5 into 45, we have multiplied it by 9. So we're going to do the same thing to the 2. 2 times 9 is 18. And now, because both of these have the same denominator, we can simply take away the numerators. So 35 take away 18 gives us 17, and the denominator remains 45. That is in its simplest form because 17 is a prime number. So that is our final answer in its simplest form. For number 2, we have to add 4 7s and 3 over 14. So we can look at the multiples of 14, since 14 is our bigger number. And just when I write 14, I can see that 14 is also in the 7 times table. So we're going to use 14 as our denominator. To make 7 into 14, we have multiplied by 2. So we need to multiply 4 by 2 as well, which makes it 8. And 14 has remained the same, meaning we have just multiplied by 1. So our numerator for that one remains the same as well. Now we can just add the numerators. 8 plus 3 is 11, and the denominator is 14. We may have fractions that are mixed numbers. If you're not very confident with mixed numbers and improper fractions and how to convert between them, then I will put a link in the description box so you can check it out. Now here, the first fraction that we've got is a mixed number. So first, we're going to have to convert it into an improper fraction. So 4 times 1 is 4, add 1 gives 5. So this will be 5 over 4 as an improper fraction. And we are adding 5 over 12. So we're going to look for the LCM of 4 and 12 by looking at the multiples of 12, which is 12, 24. But we don't need to go any further because 12 is a multiple of both 4 and 12. So we're going to make both of these fractions over 12. In order to make 4 into 12, we have multiplied by 3. So we're going to do the same thing to 5. 5 times 3 is 15. 12 has just remained the same. So we're going to keep the numerator the same as well. So we're going to do 5 plus 15, which gives us 20. And the denominator remains 12. We can simplify this by using our 4s because both of these numbers appear in the 4 times tables. So 20 divided by 4 gives us 5 and 12 divided by 4 gives us 3. Now because this is an improper fraction or a top-heavy fraction, meaning that the numerator is bigger than the denominator, we can write it as a mixed number. So we can write this as 1 and 2 thirds. For number 2, our first fraction is also a mixed number. So we're first going to have to change that into an improper fraction. So 3 times 2 is 6. If we add the 1, that gives us 7 over 3. And we're taking away 4 over 5. So to find the LCM of 3 and 5, we can look at the 5 times table. So we've got 5, 10, 15. And because 15 is a multiple of both 3 and 5, we can make these both equivalent such that the denominators are 15. So to make 3 into 15, we have multiplied by 5. So we're going to do the same to the 7. 7 times 5 is 35. To make 5 into 15, we have multiplied by 3. So we're going to do the same thing to the 4. 4 times 3 is 12. And if we take away 35, take away 12, that gives us 23 over 15. Now we cannot simplify this anymore, but because this is also a top-heavy fraction, we can convert it back into a mixed number, and that would give us 1 and 8 over 15. So this is a worded question that says Maria is baking cookies. She needs 3/4 of a cup of sugar for one batch and 2/3 cup of sugar for another batch. How much sugar does Maria need in total for both batches? So because we are looking for the total, that means we would need to add both these fractions. So we are going to do 3/4 plus 2/3. Because these denominators are not the same, we need to find a common denominator. So we're going to look at the 4 times table, 4, 8, 12, and 16. And we can stop there because we've found number 12, which is a multiple of both 4 and 3. So we're going to make these equivalent and put them over 12. In order to make 4 into 12, we have multiplied it by 3. So we're going to do the same to the numerator, which is 3. 3 times 3 is 9. To make 3 into 12, we've multiplied by 4. So we're going to do 2 times 4, which is 8. And if we do 9 plus 8, that gives us 17. The denominator remains 12. So this is a top-heavy fraction, and we can therefore write it as a mixed number. So we can write this as 1 and 5/12 cups of sugar. And this is our final answer. This question says, Sarah has read 1/5 of her book in the morning and 2/3 of the book in the afternoon. Part A. How much of the book has Sarah read altogether? So for part A, because the question is asking us to find how much she's read altogether, we are going to add what she has already read. We're going to add 1/5, because that's what she read in the morning, to 2/3, which is what she read in the afternoon. So we're going to find the lowest common multiple of 5 and 3, and that is going to be 15. So we're going to make the denominators both over 15. In order to make 5 into 15, we have multiplied by 3. So we're going to do 1 times 3, which is 3. In order to make 3 into 5, we have multiplied by 5. So we are going to do 2 times 5, which gives us 10. If we add that, we now get 13 over 15. And 13 over 15 is how much of the book she has read altogether. Part B says, how much of the book does she have left to read? So because we're finding what is left to read, we first of all have to understand that the whole book represents one whole. From part A, we found out that she has already read 13/15 of the book. So our one whole can be written as 15 over 15 because the amount that she has already read already has a denominator of 15. So in order to find what's left, we're going to do 15/15, which is our whole, take away 13 over 15, and that gives us 2/15. So she has 2/15 of the book left to read. A container has 7/10 litre of juice. After drinking 3/8 litre, another 1/4 litre was added. How much juice is in the container now? So as we can see, the container has 7/10 of a litre to begin with, and then 3/8 of a litre has been taken out of the container for a drink. We're then going to look at the lowest common multiple of 10 and 8. So 10 is not in the 8 times table. 20 is also not in the 8 times table, but 40 is a multiple of both of these, so we're going to make these equivalent to being something over 40. So make 10 into 40, we've multiplied by 4, so 7 times 4 is 28. To make 8 into 40, we've multiplied by 5, so 3 times 5 is 15. 28 take away 15 gives us 13 over 40. So after drinking 3/8 of the litre, we now have 13 over 40 of a litre left. However, after this, another 1/4 litre was added. So we are now going to take the 13 over 40 that was remaining after 3/8 has been taken out, and then we are going to add the 1/4. So as we can see, 40 is also a multiple of 4, so we can make both of these equivalent to something over 40. The first fraction remains the same, and the second one, we have multiplied 4 by 10. So 1 times 10 is 10. 13 plus 10 gives us 23, and therefore our answer is 23 over 40 litres. So here are a few practice questions that you can try. please feel free to pause the video and have a go independently, and then resume the video to see if you got the same answers. So for number 1, we are adding 2/3 and 7/18. So the LCM of 3 and 18 is 18. To make 3 into 18, we've multiplied by 6. So we're going to do 2 times 6, which is 12. And the second fraction stays the same. And this gives us 19/18. Because this is a top-heavy fraction, we can write it as a mixed number 1 and 1/18. For number 2, we are doing 11/15 take away 3/10. So the LCM of 15 and 10 is 30. So we can put both of these over 30. We can multiply the first one by 2 to make it 22/30, and the second one by 3 to make it 9/30. 22 take away 9 is 13, and the denominator is 30. So our final answer is 13/30. For number 3, we are adding 5/12 and 1 1/4. Because the second fraction is a mixed number, we can first make it into an improper fraction. So we have 5/12 plus 5/4. The LCM of 12 and 4 is 12, so we could put both of these over 12. The first fraction remains the same, but to make 4 into 12, we have multiplied by 3. So we will do 5 times 3, which gives us 15. So this now gives us 20/12. So we can first simplify this by dividing by 4, and that gives us 5/3. And we can now write this as a mixed number since it is an improper fraction, and we can write this as 1 2/3. For number 4, both our fractions are mixed numbers, so we can first convert them into improper fractions. So the first one will be 17/5, and the second one is going to be 17/10. The LCM of 5 and 10 is 10. The second fraction remains as it is. For the first fraction, we are multiplying by 2, so that makes it 34/10. When we take this away, we get 17/10, and we can now write it as a mixed number since it is an improper fraction, so we have 1 7/10. Number 5 says, a recipe calls for 5/6 cup of sugar, but Mia only has half a cup. How much more sugar does Mia need? So this recipe needs 5/6 of a cup, but Mia only has a half. So we need to do 5/6, take away a half in order to see how much more she needs. So we will first make these fractions both over 6 because 6 is the LCM of 2 and 6. The first fraction remains the same. Before the second one, we can multiply by 3, and that makes it 3/6. If we take that away, we get 2/6, and we can simplify that using our 2's to get 1/3. So Mia needs 1/3 cup more of sugar for this recipe.